Greetings, fellow Gorehounds, and welcome back to a Blood Splattered vlog. I'm the Horror Guru.
And I'm Count Jackula.
And today we're going to talk about Backrooms, directed by Kane Parsons, based on his YouTube series of the same name. For those of you who don't know, Backrooms is part of the liminal space subgenre.
Liminal horror.
Liminal basically means like the space in between a transition of some kind.
A space between spaces.
Yes, a transitional space, if you will. And that basically takes the form in horror of like empty buildings.
Yeah.
Buildings or hallways or places in which there is normally something happening and we're in between the time in which something's happening.
Yeah.
Like an empty department store or a hallway where people normally are walking up and down, but it's completely abandoned. Subway tunnels, but without lights and without subway fucking cars.
Without the car coming through.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Or even a subway car there, but not in use.
Not in use, yes. Yeah. A lot of it comes from the geography of dreams.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there'll be a lot of times in a dream where you're walking down a corridor that never ends, or all of a sudden there's just a swimming pool where your kitchen used to be.
And that's the other thing about liminal spaces is it's like these half-remembered spaces too, where something's off. But it looks normal at first, but you look a little closer and you're like, wait,
that doesn't make any sense.
Almost like how AI art is, where it's like it's kind of right if you're looking at it without like really looking at it. But
if you're just scanning it.
But you zoom in, you go like, oh wait, that finger's all wrong and all that stuff.
Yeah,
it's kind of like that, but with like physical spaces, right?
Or like how you'll cross a plaza, you would cross a plaza in a mall to go from like, I don't know, like Forever 21 to like GameStop or something. You think of Forever 21 and GameStop as places, but you don't think of the area between the two as the space itself.
Absolutely, 100%.
Or how like, things will just change if you like look away and you look back and
you're like, wait, hold on. Was that like that the way it was before?
Or,
did something shift when I wasn't looking? Basically, the House of Leaves book is like the ultimate liminal space text before liminal space was a thing online.
Yes.
So here's my dirty little secret about liminal space horror. It often does nothing for me. I don't know what it is. I guess just whatever that emotion that is evoked with the liminal space is not one I connect with fear or anxiety or anything. Honestly, most liminal spaces just look kind of calm and chill to me.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
It's more relaxing than freaky to me. And also, especially with some of the imagery in this movie, it looks less like a scary place to me and more like an art installation.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like, I feel like some of the set design in this movie, I could easily walk down to the MoMA and see like an installation that looks exactly like that.
Yeah.
So it's not exactly something I connect with like scary things.
Yeah, me neither. It's more vague, unnerving feeling.
Yeah. But one thing I will give the original Backrooms series is that it kind of introduced into the liminal space canon the idea of monsters.
Yeah, critters that live in there.
In this space. Now that is more interesting to me than just the space itself. Like something beyond the space living in there kind of creeps me out. And for that reason, I kind of thought the idea of a movie, while a gamble, might actually be able to elevate the whole backroom concept into something that I legitimately find scary now. And I'm happy to report this movie succeeded.
Yeah.
And it succeeded for a couple reasons. Number one, Kane Parsons, who made the original YouTube series, fully understands what makes Backrooms popular, but also understands what makes Backrooms work as a meme, but what needs to happen for it to work as a movie.
Yeah.
And that's the human element of this movie is executed so well.
Yeah, I do have to make a confession.
Yeah.
In the early part of the movie, I almost fell asleep.
That is fair because it is a very slow burn.
Yeah.
The movie takes a while to build up, and I've seen a lot of people talk about how slow it is. That wasn't necessarily a problem for me. That being said, like it could have ramped up a little faster. I could see that.
Yeah.
Partially because a lot of the early stuff is him just walking through like the liminal spaces. without getting into the creepy creature yet. I could walk down to the MoMA and see like when he walks into that room and there's like all those chairs.
Yeah,
whatever.
just that pile of chairs in the middle.
That looks like an art installation I can walk into downtown San Francisco right now and just see on the street.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not necessarily something I find very freaky. So I can understand like wanting something more, especially something more freaky to happen faster in the movie.
Yeah, or if we had even spent that time to get to know the main character a little more.
We get
to know quite a lot about him.
Yeah, basically the main character of this movie, Clark, is a middle-aged owner of a furniture store. And he is currently in therapy trying to get over a very nasty divorce.
Yeah.
One which kind of fucked him up. But it's very clear as the movie goes on that he was kind of fucked up before the divorce. In fact, that's why...
We definitely get to see, like, what his fault in the divorce is.
One of the things that's a huge theme in this movie, and honestly I think is an underlying theme in liminal spaces, even if people don't recognize it, is the malaise of modernity.
Oh yeah.
Like the malaise of modern life. And our main character is kind of like a person in that kind of transition himself.
Yeah.
He's in his own liminal transitional state from being married man to a divorced single guy.
Yeah.
And he has no idea how to handle this transition. And so that's why he's in therapy, because that's what therapy's for. It's helping you through those things, you know? And also the therapist, who's the other main character of this movie, is also very much in her own malaise that she's kind of struggling with, and she's constantly remembering her childhood. She just watched the building she grew up in get torn down to become a bigger building.
Yeah.
That's going to be like an apartment complex. One of the reasons why I think liminal spaces became popular in the first place is watching all these buildings around us go empty and abandoned.
Yeah, absolutely. Particularly if like you're younger, you're like, what used to be there?
Mm-hmm. But it's very obvious that she's not in a good place either, because we see stuff like her being at a party at her own house and just kind of sleepwalking through the whole party.
Yeah.
And like at the end of it, like taking some drugs to get through it, you know? One of the other types of horror that rose alongside the liminal horror online is the analog horror thing, which is kind of like found footage, but not quite.
Analog horror harkens back to the idea that old things are somehow possessed.
Yeah.
But now things from the 80s are now old things, so they are possessed.
Yep, and things from the 90s
and things from the 90s are possessed.
Five Nights at Freddy's and shit like that.
Exactly.
That's one of the main reasons why the 90s kind of comes up in this movie, is because there's a lot of like old VHS tapes, and they're explicitly using a VHS camera to, you know, record a bunch of stuff. It's technically DV tapes, but you know, you inserted those into a VHS to play them.
Yeah.
You know, and no one's using cell phones and whatnot. And if you go to the therapist's office, she's got one of those old couches that you saw everywhere in the 90s.
Yep.
With those very fucking awful fucking color schemes.
Oh, yeah.
It's a perfect time because the 90s was also a very transitionary time.
Oh, yes.
For the entire country.
Oh, yes.
You know, I like the way it kind of reinforces its themes like right from the get-go. These like spaces that kind of look like real spaces, but they're kind of like almost half remembered and like jumbled together and whatnot. That theme is kind of woven into the very fabric of the beginning of the movie, because not only do you have like the therapist like remembering her childhood and like going through that thing, you also have stuff like Clark runs a furniture store, right?
Right.
It's called the Ottoman Empire. Because he sells Ottomans, right? Makes perfect sense. But his mascot is a pirate.
Yeah. They had pirates, but they didn't look like Jack Sparrow.
Well, that's the other thing. The pirate is 100% like a traditional peg-legged, parrot on his shoulder pirate. And that feels like something that you would like half remember. Like it's like a memory that's remembered wrong.
Yeah.
Like I remember this store and it had like a pirate, and so you put the stereotypical pirate there and whatnot. That is the permanent state that Clark is like mentally, you know? He runs this shop and he can't even come up with an appropriate fucking mascot. So he's got this mascot that almost looks like it half should be there.
Yeah.
But not quite.
Kind of.
But it still feels off. Right?
Yeah.
Backrooms is currently available in theaters. I think it's a pretty good movie. It is a little slow in the beginning, but trust me when I say like the last act more than makes up for how slow it gets.
Yeah.
And with that said, let us move on to the spoilers. Clark kind of becomes the main antagonist of this movie.
Yeah.
He's kind of the person we start off with, so you kind of think of him as the protagonist. But what you realize is like the first half of this movie is kind of watching his villain's journey happen.
Yeah. He slowly becomes part of the back room.
Yes. He becomes obsessed with the back rooms. He even invites two employees to come with him to the back rooms because he needs someone to record a camera to prove the back rooms exists.
Yeah.
Because he got into a whole argument with his therapist over this, knowing after his first venture in there that there's something dangerous in there. And yet he still invites these two with him without warning them of the danger, which is kind of your first red flag. They end up getting attacked by something while searching through the back rooms. It ends up cutting to like a few weeks later and we're back on the therapist. So it kind of has like a main character switch, kind of like Barbarian and Weapons. It kind of has a character switch like those movies do. And then we're following the therapist as she's trying to figure out what the fuck happened to Clark, which leads to her discovering the back rooms in his basement and going in herself and encountering Clark, who has basically become like a crazed native in the back rooms. You know what it reminded me of?
What?
It reminded me of Apocalypse Now.
Oh, yeah.
And gives this whole speech, which is basically the speech that kind of gives us the movie's thesis for what the back rooms is. It is like this woman over here that you see with the mangled face or whatever. She was standing there at one point, and someone remembers her standing there. But because their memory is so old, they only remember it so well. And every time you recall a memory...
Yeah, you mess it up a little bit.
You remember it a little differently, and so it gets a little bit more messed up, a little bit more messed up, a little bit more messed up. And that's why the back rooms is the way it is. Like, you can go into rooms and literally see the different stages of a room based on someone's memory. And he ends up finding essentially his house in that memory, and finding a version of his wife, and also a version of himself.
Yeah.
Who turns out to be the monster that's been stomping around breaking shit. And it's got like the long arms and the long neck and the big oversized head. It looks like a creepypasta monster.
Yeah, it does.
But in a pirate costume. And it's very obvious that this version of him is a version of him that holds all of his anger and resentment.
Yeah, because he does not want to be working at this store.
No.
He does not want to be the owner. He does not want to run it. He hates everything about it. But it is the thing that most people remember about him.
Yes. He wants to be an architect, but he's stuck selling furniture. He blames his wife for this because he blames the fact that he had to work so much for his wife to go to college so that she can eventually work, for him not succeeding in the life that he wanted to have.
Right.
It's also very clear based on the way this thing acts that he was probably physically abusive.
Oh, yeah.
A very telling scene for me is that the Backrooms version of his wife runs screaming when the backroom version of him shows up.
Yeah.
Because of his therapy sessions where they have done these role play exercises where the therapist, like, I'm your wife, tell me the things that you couldn't tell her, like, act out this scene. He has now implanted her as a version of his wife in his own head.
Yes. Yeah.
So the version of him in the back rooms is going to chase her to the ends of the earth and try to destroy her. This is never stated in the movie. It's kind of just implied.
It's very implied.
You know, but it's something that I kind of picked up on while I was watching the movie, and I really liked the way they kind of wove all that stuff in. It was that human element, the back rooms kind of being like a half-remembered memory, and the way it connects to the main character's own personal journeys, that made this work for me in a way most liminal memes don't.
I do have like my own personal liminal nightmare.
Yeah, what is it?
Symbols.
Yeah.
It's being in the basement of a building that is flooded or a swimming pool, and there is like a shark or a giant snake.
That does sound terrifying.
Yeah. You know, like you're like, oh, I'm in the water. I guess I'll look down and see what's in the water. And like way off in the distance, you see.
I think that's why, like, the addition of, like, monsters in liminal spaces makes it work more for me than just the spaces themselves. Adding that thing that shouldn't be there in a space that shouldn't be. Now I got chills down my spine. Right?
There's like clown at a circus. Maybe scary, but probably not.
Clown in an abandoned subway fucking tunnel with a fucking umbrella with a light on him that shouldn't be there. That's fucking terrifying, right?
Yep. Ball-droppingly horrifying. And then she runs into
Mark Duplass. Mark fucking Duplass has a weird-ass cameo in this movie. I'll be honest, it's the one part of the movie where I'm kind of on the fence about, and I kind of gotta wait to see what Backrooms 2 does with it before I really fucking know whether or not this part of the movie worked for me. There is a organization that is searching through the backrooms, like researching it.
Yeah. Which a lot of the Backrooms videos actually have those guys in them.
There is obviously a clip at the beginning of the movie that opens the movie. The cold open of the movie is someone searching through the back rooms and encountering a monster, right?
Right.
When that scene ends, we see like some sort of VHS screen, like a VHS player on a TV, reflecting with someone watching it. And we later find out that the person who was watching that is Mark Duplass's character, who is a scientist that works for a corporation that is investigating the backrooms because for whatever reason they stumbled across it a few years ago. And so now they're trying to like map it out and figure out what's going on with it. And the movie ends with her getting picked up by Mark Duplass and interrogated about her experiences in the back room. We cut as she's being interrogated to a version of her in a memory of the interrogation room.
Yeah.
With a mangled face just sitting in the back room like this.
Yep, that's just kind of where it ends.
That's just kind of where the movie ends. It's almost like, the thing I'll say about the ending is that the ending definitely feels almost like a sequel bait kind of thing.
Oh, it's
like to be continued. It feels less like a definitive ending of the story and more like a to be continued.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it's an ending to the Clark part of the story because the monster's been dealt with. Clark himself got eaten by his own monster. His own fucking anger and resentment ate him up. Great metaphor. But now her story is going to continue in some fashion in Backrooms 2 that we already know has been greenlit. So how I feel about that ending and how I feel about the whole organization searching through the backrooms is really going to be determined by what Backrooms 2 does.
Right, because they're going to have to reveal more about the back rooms in the next movie.
And they're going to have to justify, like, how are you going to continue this concept of the back rooms as, like, a truly scary concept? Because if the explanation for what the back rooms is in this first movie is true, then now we kind of understand how it works. So are you going to throw some more loops into the movie to like make it scary again? Because now we know that the monsters are just the reflections of the people.
Right.
Are you going to keep that up and find a way to make that continue to be scary? Or are you going to add something else?
Well, you're going to have to escalate somehow.
But I do know in like the Backrooms lore and in the Backrooms like original series, there was like other creatures and stuff.
Yeah.
That is not at all present in this movie. So maybe they'll start including some of that stuff. I don't know.
They probably will, or at least some version of it that works for the film.
And I'm curious to see how they'll do it. I'm very skeptical, but at the same time...
I'm skeptical, but I was also skeptical of this movie.
Exactly. So if someone's going to pull it off, it'll be the people who pulled off this movie,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
So that's kind of the best place to leave this vlog. Liked the movie, kind of looking forward to, but a little skeptical about the sequel. And y'all know me, I'm the Horror Guru. You can find me at the Horror Guru on various social media platforms, but these days I primarily use Blue Sky, so follow me on there. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and don't forget to ring that notification bell so you're notified of my videos immediately upon their upload. And if you'd like to help out either of us more directly, be sure to check out our Patreon pages. And remember, if you decide to go the Patreon route, even $1 a month can go a long way, but we will certainly accept more. And if you made it this far into the video, then I want you to comment below, and be sure to comment below using the hashtag #JackShirtIsGray. Use the hashtag #JackShirtIsGray. That way I know, that way you know, that way the whole world knows what color Jack's shirt was throughout this entire vlog. Trust your memory. It was gray.
It was gray.